Hi all. So I wanted to really quickly with you remind you how to find the actual zeros of a function. So I wanted to talk to you about a review of synthetic division and how that helps you find the zeros. Remember that synthetic division uses the coefficients and divides out the polynomials. Don't forget that you have to have a placeholder for every spot, every degree. So if you don't, you have to include a 0 if you're missing one of those terms. Let's go through how to actually divide using synthetic division. We're going to take the top number and we're going to pull all of the coefficients. Remember that if there is not a coefficient, it's understood to be a 1. And we're going to do 1, -7, -11. Over here to the left, I'm going to take what I'm dividing by, which is the opposite of the number with x. So in this case, +8. Then I'm going to just write my line. I'm going to draw this. This is going to help me keep my information straight. Now notice I've left myself a little space here under the numbers. First step is to bring down the 1. Then we multiply. 8 times 1 is 8. We're going to add that column. -7 plus 8 is 1. We're going to multiply again. 8 times 1 is 8. And then I'm going to add my column and I get -3. Now, the reason that I keep this second part sectioned off is because that is the remainder. This is the answer, and this is the remainder over here, okay? So now I have to put my variables back in to get my answer, and my degree always drops. When I'm dividing, I lose an x, so since my degree started at 2, my answer is simply going to be 1x plus 1, and then my remainder goes over what I was dividing by. So I've got 1x plus 1 minus 3 over x minus 8. There is my answer. I divided using synthetic division. Here we've got another one. It looks a little different, but it works exactly the same. So we've got that division sign, which tells me that I'm going to pull all of my coefficients out of this first polynomial. I want to make sure I have one for every place. So since I'm starting with a third degree, I want to make sure I have something in the second degree, the first degree, and the constant place. I do. I'm good. I don't need any zeros. I'm just going to write my coefficients. And then over here, I'm going to write what I'm dividing by. Don't forget to take the opposite of the number. So I'm going to divide by a -2 here. I'm also going to write in my lines, leave myself a little space so that I have room to work. First step, drop the 1. Then I'm going to multiply. -2 times 1 is -2. And then I add my column. 7 plus -2 is 5. I'm going to multiply again. -2 times 5 is -10. Notice this is why I left myself space so I can write in my numbers as I multiply. And then I'm going to add the column again, and I get 4. -2 times 4 is -8. Add the column, and I get -5. Remember, what's back here is my remainder. This front part, the 1, the 5, the 4, that's my answer, but it's going to be 1 degree less than what I started with. So since I started with an x cubed, my answer is going to be 1x squared. No, you do not have to write the 1. It's not wrong if you do. It's not wrong if you don't. Plus, then I'm going to go to my next one, 5x plus 4. And then remember that your remainder goes on top of whatever you are dividing by. So -5 over x plus 2. Okay? I have divided again, use my synthetic division, then I write my answer in polynomial form. Let's try one more. Notice that this one is all out of order. So when you are dividing, it's really important that your terms are in order so that you get them in descending order. You have to have everything, a placeholder for everything, and you don't really know that you have that unless everything is in the correct order. Now I can see here that I'm starting with a 4th degree. I don't have a place for the 3rd degree, which means that I'm going to have to add in a 0 when I set this up. So when I do my coefficients, I'm going to do 1, and then I'm going to do 0, -5, 8, and 4. Remember that this is my 4th degree, my 3rd, my 2nd, my 1st, and my constant. Because I don't have an x cubed in my polynomial, I have to put in a 0 to hold that place. Over here, I'm going to divide by +1, take the opposite of what's with x, and then I'm going to draw in my lines and leave myself a little bit of room. Let's bring down the first term, 1. Now I'm going to multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. Then I'm going to add my column. 0 plus 1 is 1. Multiply again. 1 times 1 is 1. Add the column. -5 plus 1 is -4. Multiply 1 times -4 is -4. Add the column. 8 plus -4 is 4. 1 times 4 is 4. Add that column and I get 8. So I have a remainder on this one as well. Now, because I started with an x4 term, remember that my answer is going to be an x3. And then I'm going to have an x squared minus 4x plus 4. So I just added all my variables back in. My remainder is 8 over what I was dividing by, which is x minus 1. This is my solution. I have divided successfully. This will eventually help us find roots. Using synthetic division, we can find the different roots of a polynomial. When we pair this with our rational zeros theorem, we can use them together to help us find all the roots. So hopefully you can now whiz through some synthetic division, use that to find your depressed polynomial, and then eventually use that to find the roots.